Well, I think the notion and the idea of guru in itself there's a narcissism to it associated with it straight away, and I think that with any of these kind of this kind of counterculture, particularly in surfing, surfers love this sort of mythology, and I think he plays into that mythology where he eschews the limelight and is sort of somewhat reclusive, but at the same time is attached to that limelight of the past, that he was there. I think he's also a guy that's knocking on the door of a midlife crisis, and there's this sort of, he's going through his own identity shift where he's probably more aware of his masculinity. But on a bigger picture, and masculinity is an interesting concept right now, particularly, and we've heard we've heard a lot of talk about toxic masculinity, and I think it's quite a potent and salient topic to discuss at this point in the world. For a lot of reasons. And in Australia in the 70s, that archetype of masculinity was so heavily laid on and so thick, we sort of exploited it and exported it as a big part of our national identity. And growing up in that period, there was and I grew up in an area where there was sort of the ratio of men to women there was a lot more men than there were women. So there was this sort of this forced masculinity that was shoved down your throat, and the idea of not living up to that expectation and was a potent and emotionally difficult thing. And really, in a lot of ways, I wanted to set up the archetype, the stereotype of that masculine ideal, and then subvert it, because I think really that's what's often been taking place.
Right.
And the notion of children getting to a point, sons teaching their fathers certain things, and I know through my teenage boys, there's a lot of stuff that they're teaching me to update the concept of masculinity these days. And I distinctly remember the period in my life where I had outgrown my stepfather, and I knew it. I couldn't communicate with him. He was of another time. And I think it's very, very important that we keep trying to reset and develop and grow